The House of Medici is widely regarded as one of the most powerful families in history, commanding extraordinary influence across finance, politics, religion, and culture for over 3 centuries. Originating as merchants and bankers in the 13th century Florence, the Medici transformed their commercial success into political supremacy and intellectual leadership that shaped the course of European civilization. Their rise began with the establishment of the Medici Bank in 1397, which soon became the most respected financial institution in Europe. Through strategic lending to monarchs, merchants, and even the papacy, the family amassed immense wealth and forged alliances that extended their influence far beyond Tuscany. By 1434, under Cosimo de' Medici, they effectively ruled Florence, ushering in a golden age of political stability, economic growth, and artistic achievement. The family later secured hereditary rule as the Grand Dukes of Tuscany, cementing their status among Europe's elite. The Medici wielded not only economic and political power, but also spiritual and cultural authority. They produced 4 popes and 2 queens of France, blending temporal might with religious and dynastic prestige. Their enduring legacy, however, lies in their unparalleled patronage of the arts and sciences. Under Lorenzo the Magnificent, the Medici sponsored masters such as Michelangelo, Botticelli, and Leonardo da Vinci, and supported humanist scholars who fueled the Italian Renaissance. Even Galileo Galilei owed his career to Medici patronage. What sets the Medici apart is their synthesis of hard and soft power, banking acumen, statecraft, religious influence, and cultural vision, all orchestrated through calculated diplomacy and enduring patronage. Their ability to shape politics, finance, and intellectual thought from the shadows of Florence to the courts of Europe makes the House of Medici not merely a symbol of wealth, but an enduring archetype of power itself. The Rothschild family stands as one of the most influential dynasties in modern history, an enduring symbol of financial innovation, strategic vision, and transnational power. Originating in the Jewish ghetto of Frankfurt during the 16th century, the family's rise began with Mayor Amschel Rothschild, 1744 to 1812, who established a banking house that would soon evolve into a financial empire. Mayer's decision to place his 5 sons in major European capitals, London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, and Frankfurt, created the first truly international banking network, transforming the Rothschilds into pioneers of global finance. Throughout the 19th century, the Rothschilds played a defining role in European economics and politics. They financed governments, stabilized currencies, and funded monumental projects such as the Napoleonic War efforts, the Suez Canal, and vast railway systems. Their innovations, ranging from international bond issuance to secure gold transport, laid the foundation for modern banking practices. At their height, they were considered the wealthiest private family in the world, with influence reaching monarchs, parliaments, and industrial empires. Yet the Rothschild legacy extends far beyond commerce. They became patrons of art, science, and education, funding hospitals, universities, and Jewish charities throughout Europe and the Middle East. Their commitment to philanthropy was guided by the Jewish principle of tzedakah, charity as a moral duty, making them not only financiers but also benefactors of social progress. Despite facing persistent anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, the Rothschilds' true legacy lies not in secret control, but in their unmatched mastery of finance and diplomacy. Their institutions, notably Rothschild and Company, continue to operate today, representing over 2 centuries of resilience and adaptation. Blending wealth with intellect, prudence, and foresight, the House of Habsburg remains one of the most powerful and enduring dynasties in European history, renowned for its vast empire, strategic marriages, and centuries-long dominance of European politics. The family's origins trace back to the 11th century, when Radbot of Klettgau built Habsburg Castle in present-day Switzerland, giving the dynasty its name. Their rise to prominence began with Rudolf I, who was elected King of the Romans in 1273 and secured Austria and Styria as hereditary Habsburg lands, the foundation of an empire that would span continents. Rather than relying solely on conquest, the Habsburgs mastered the art of dynastic alliance. Through a network of calculated marriages, they accumulated crowns and territories across Europe, famously uniting the Spanish, Austrian, Burgundian, and Hungarian realms under one imperial banner. At their height, under Emperor Charles V in the 16th century, the Habsburg Empire stretched from the Americas to Eastern Europe, embodying the idea that the sun never set on their dominions. Their unofficial motto, let others wage war. You, happy Austria, marry. Perfectly captured their strategy of expansion through diplomacy and inheritance. As rulers of the Holy Roman Empire and later the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Habsburgs presided over a vast and culturally diverse population. Their courts became centers of art, science, and architecture, leaving behind a legacy visible in Vienna's palaces, Prague's cathedrals, and Madrid's royal collections. However, centuries of warfare, internal division, and the rise of nationalism gradually weakened their empire, culminating in its dissolution at the end of World War I. For over 6 centuries, the Habsburgs embodied imperial power, religious authority, and cultural patronage. Their ability to merge political acumen with dynastic ambition made them not merely rulers of Europe, but architects of its very structure, an enduring testament to the power of lineage, diplomacy, and empire. The House of Saud is the ruling dynasty of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and one of the most powerful families in the modern world. Its influence combines religious legitimacy, political control, and vast oil wealth, factors that have allowed it to shape both regional and global affairs for nearly 3 centuries. The family's origins date back to the 15th century in Central Arabia, but its rise began in 1744 when Muhammad bin Saud, leader of Diriyah, forged a strategic alliance with the Islamic reformer Muhammad ibn Abd al-Wahhab. This partnership unified political power and religious authority, forming the ideological foundation of the Saudi state. Guided by this dual legitimacy, the family established the first Saudi state, which, despite later collapse, set the precedent for future resurgence. The dynasty regained prominence under Abdulaziz ibn Saud, who captured Riyadh in 1902 and unified the Arabian Peninsula. In 1932, he declared the creation of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, enshrining the House of Saud as the nation's royal family. The discovery of oil in the 1930s transformed the kingdom's fortunes, propelling it to the center of global energy markets and elevating the family to extraordinary wealth and influence. Today, the Al Saud family retains absolute political authority, with the monarch also serving as custodian of the 2 holy mosques, granting unparalleled religious status in the Islamic world. Their rule, sustained by oil revenues, religious legitimacy, and strategic alliances, has made the House of Saud a cornerstone of Middle Eastern politics and a decisive actor in global economics, diplomacy, and energy security. The Al Nahyan family is the ruling dynasty of Abu Dhabi, the largest and wealthiest emirate within the United Arab Emirates, and one of the most influential royal families in the modern world. Descended from the Bani Yas tribal confederation, the family's origins trace to the Liwa oasis in the 18th century. Under Sheikh Shakbut bin Saud Al Nahyan, they established Abu Dhabi as their capital around 1793, laying the foundations of a lineage that would later transform the Arabian Peninsula. The family's modern prominence began under Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, who united the 7 emirates in 1971 to form the UAE and became its founding president. His leadership combined tribal wisdom with visionary governance, leveraging the emirate's vast oil wealth to modernize the nation and secure international influence. His successor and son, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the current president of the UAE, has continued this legacy, steering the country toward diversification, innovation, and global diplomacy. The Al Nahyan family controls Abu Dhabi's immense economic resources, including the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, ADIA, one of the world's largest sovereign wealth funds, through which they invest billions globally in real estate, technology, and infrastructure. Beyond economics, they wield considerable political and diplomatic influence, playing a central role in Gulf security, energy policy, and international relations. Through strategic leadership, economic foresight, and global partnerships, the Al Nahyan family has transformed Abu Dhabi from a desert settlement into a global center of power, prosperity, and modernization, embodying the evolution of Arabia into the 21st century. The Walton family is one of the most influential and affluent dynasties in the modern world, best known as the founders and principal owners of Walmart Incorporated, the largest retail corporation globally. Their legacy began with Sam Walton, who, together with his brother Bud Walton, opened the first Walmart store in Rogers, Arkansas, in 1962. Sam's innovative retail strategy, offering everyday low prices, rapid inventory turnover, and rural market penetration, revolutionized global commerce and set new standards for efficiency and affordability in retail. Through disciplined expansion and technological innovation, Walmart grew into a multinational powerhouse operating thousands of stores worldwide. The Walton family retains controlling ownership through Walton Enterprises and other entities, securing a combined fortune exceeding $250 billion, which places them among the wealthiest families in history. Their influence extends far beyond retail. The family has stakes in Arvest Bank, significant investments in logistics and technology, and ownership in cultural and sports enterprises. Philanthropy forms another cornerstone of their legacy. Founded in 1987, the Walton Family Foundation supports educational reform, environmental conservation, and community revitalization projects across the United States. Through initiatives in K-12 education, sustainable fisheries, and river restoration, the foundation demonstrates a long-term commitment to social impact and stewardship. The Waltons exemplify how business acumen, innovation, and intergenerational leadership can shape global economies. Their enduring success has redefined the power of family-owned enterprises, transforming Walmart from a small-town store into a worldwide institution that continues to influence consumer behavior, employment, and corporate culture across the globe. The Ambani family stands as one of the most influential and powerful business dynasties in Asia, shaping India's modern economic landscape through their leadership of Reliance Industries Limited, RIL. The legacy began with Dhirubhai Ambani, who founded Reliance in 1958 as a small textile enterprise and transformed it into a diversified conglomerate spanning energy, petrochemicals, and manufacturing. His visionary entrepreneurship laid the groundwork for what would become India's largest private sector corporation. Following Dhirubhai's passing in 2002, his elder son Mukesh Ambani assumed control of Reliance Industries, steering the company into new frontiers that revolutionized India's economy. Under his leadership, Reliance expanded beyond its industrial roots into telecommunications, retail, digital services, and media, becoming a cornerstone of India's economic infrastructure. The launch of Reliance Jio in 2016 disrupted the telecom market, providing affordable internet access to millions and accelerating India's digital transformation. The family's business empire also includes Reliance Retail, one of Asia's largest retail networks, and significant investments in clean energy, technology, and global partnerships. With an estimated fortune exceeding $100 billion, the Ambanis remain at the forefront of India's industrial and technological advancement. Beyond business, Nita Ambani, Mukesh's wife, has played a prominent role in philanthropy, education, and sports through the Reliance Foundation. Their children, Akash, Isha, and Anant Ambani, now represent the next generation of leadership. The Ambani family's influence extends beyond wealth. They embody innovation, resilience, and strategic foresight, symbolizing India's rise as a global economic power. The Koch family is one of the most influential industrial and political dynasties in the United States, renowned for their vast business empire, philanthropic endeavors, and enduring impact on American public policy. The family's legacy began with Fred C. Koch, a pioneering chemical engineer who developed an innovative oil refining process and co-founded the company that would evolve into Koch Industries in 1940. His entrepreneurial foundation laid the groundwork for one of the world's largest privately held corporations. Under the leadership of his sons, Charles Koch and the late David Koch, Koch Industries expanded far beyond oil refining into a diversified conglomerate spanning energy, chemicals, manufacturing, finance, agriculture, and commodities trading. Today, the company generates hundreds of billions in annual revenue, and the family's combined fortune ranks among the highest in the world. Beyond business, the Koch family has become a formidable force in shaping American political and intellectual discourse. Through organizations such as Americans for Prosperity and extensive support for libertarian and conservative think tanks, the family has influenced policies on taxation, deregulation, and environmental legislation. Their donations to universities and research institutions have further extended their ideological and educational reach. Despite controversy over their political activism, the Kochs have maintained a strong commitment to philanthropy, supporting medical research, arts, and education. Their blend of industrial power, strategic investment, and ideological influence represents a modern form of dynastic control, one defined not by aristocratic titles, but by economic might and the ability to steer national policy and thought. The Mars family is one of the wealthiest and most discreet business dynasties in the world, best known as the owners of Mars Incorporated, a global leader in confectionery, pet care, and food production. Founded in 1911 by Franklin Clarence Mars in Tacoma, Washington, the company began as a small candy business selling hand-dipped chocolates. Its fortunes changed with the introduction of the Milky Way bar in 1923, which catapulted Mars to national prominence. Under the leadership of Frank's son, Forrest Mars Sr., the company expanded internationally, launching the Mars bar and later the iconic M&Ms, Snickers, and Twix, transforming Mars into a global household name. Today, Mars Inc. remains entirely family-owned, an uncommon trait among corporations of its scale. The company's portfolio extends beyond confectionery into pet nutrition, pedigree, Whiskas, food brands, Uncle Ben's, Dolmio, and veterinary services, reflecting decades of diversification. This private ownership structure allows the Mars family to maintain tight control over operations and long-term strategic vision, free from the pressures of public shareholders. With an estimated collective net worth exceeding $110 billion, the Mars family's influence stems not just from wealth, but from the global reach of its brands. Products consumed by millions daily across more than 80 countries. Notoriously private, the family avoids media attention, preferring to let their products and principles speak for them. The Mars legacy represents enduring entrepreneurship, discretion, and the ability to preserve generational wealth while shaping industries that touch everyday life around the world. The Wertheimer family is one of the most discreet yet influential dynasties in the global luxury industry, best known as the owners of Chanel S.A., the French fashion house synonymous with timeless elegance and innovation. The family's ascent began in the early 20th century with Pierre Wertheimer, a visionary businessman whose family already owned stakes in the cosmetics firm Bourjois. In 1924, Pierre entered a partnership with Coco Chanel, financing and managing the production and distribution of the now iconic Chanel No. 5 fragrance. This alliance laid the foundation for one of the most successful and enduring relationships in fashion history. Today, Chanel remains entirely private and family-owned, managed by Pierre's grandsons, Alain Wertheimer and Gérard Wertheimer. Their refusal to take the company public has allowed Chanel to maintain its exclusivity, creative independence, and enduring prestige. Under their leadership, Chanel continues to flourish as a global symbol of refinement, artistry, and luxury, spanning haute couture, fragrances, jewelry, and accessories. The brand's exceptional profitability and brand equity have solidified the Wertheimers' position among the world's wealthiest families. Beyond Chanel, the family has diversified into winemaking through their ownership of prestigious vineyards such as Château Rosan-Segla and Château Canon, and into horse racing through their renowned stable, Wertheimer et Frères. Despite their immense fortune and global reach, the Wertheimers maintain a notably private lifestyle, rarely granting interviews or appearing publicly. Their enduring stewardship of Chanel exemplifies a rare balance of tradition, innovation, and discretion, defining true power through elegance and restraint. The House of Borgia was a Spanish-Italian noble family that rose to extraordinary prominence during the Renaissance, wielding immense political, military, and religious power across 15th and 16th century Europe. Originating from Borja in the Kingdom of Aragon, modern-day Spain, the Borgias ascended through the ranks of the Catholic Church to become one of the most formidable dynasties of their era. Their rise began with Alphonse de Borja, who became Pope Calixtus III in 1455, marking the family's first papal appointment and entry into the highest echelons of religious authority. However, true dominance came under his nephew, Rodrigo Borgia, who ascended to the papacy as Pope Alexander VI in 1492. Under his rule, the Borgias consolidated vast influence through a blend of strategic marriages, political alliances, and territorial acquisitions, transforming the papal court into a center of both power and controversy. Rodrigo's son, Cesare Borgia, epitomized the family's ambition and ruthlessness, serving as a cardinal, military commander, and political visionary who inspired Niccolò Machiavelli's The Prince. His sister Lucrezia Borgia became a symbol of both scandal and diplomacy, forging crucial alliances through marriage and governance. While often associated with corruption, intrigue, and excess, the Borgias were also patrons of the arts and instrumental in shaping Renaissance Italy's political landscape. Their legacy endures as a compelling study of how ambition, intellect, and moral complexity intertwined at the heart of the Church, defining the Borgias as both the most powerful and most infamous family of their age. The Dumas family represents one of the most distinguished dynasties in the global luxury industry, serving as the modern custodians of Hermès, the iconic French fashion house founded in 1837 by Thierry Hermès. Originally established as a saddlery and leather workshop in Paris, Hermès evolved into a global symbol of craftsmanship, exclusivity, and timeless elegance. The Dumas lineage entered the family business through marriage when Émile Maurice Hermès, the founder's grandson, had only daughters, leading to the creation of the Dumas, Puech, and Guérande family branches that collectively continue to control Hermès. Leadership of the brand was notably shaped by Jean-Louis Dumas, who served as CEO and chairman from 1978 to 2006. Under his vision, Hermès expanded globally while preserving its artisanal roots, introducing new product lines and modernizing its retail presence without compromising heritage. Today, the legacy continues under Axel Dumas, executive chairman, and Pierre-Alexis Dumas, artistic director, who uphold the brand's philosophy of quality, scarcity, and authenticity. The Dumas family maintains majority ownership through the holding company H51, ensuring Hermès remains privately controlled despite external acquisition attempts. Their collective fortune is estimated in the tens of billions, ranking them among the world's wealthiest and most discreet families.